Going live, and let me just double check. Cool. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Lucky Ocean podcast. We got me and Jamie here. We would normally have Clean. We haven't had Clean the last 2 times, and we're also not going to have him today. But he had some unfortunate news that his grandmother just passed away this morning. So everybody pray for Clean and just wish him, happy day or whatever. But we're here with Jamie from Tipsy Turtles. It's been, I think, like a month or 2 since we've had you on. How you been, man?
Yeah, brother, I've been good, man. First off, sorry to hear, the situation really clean. Like, I lost my grandmother sometime a year and a half ago, and I don't know, her birthday was just recently too, and like I felt the pain that comes with losing like a loved one that close to you. So, clean wherever you are, brother. I'll be praying for you, man. Hope things kind of turn around. Probably even how you're feeling right now, brother. So, yeah, man. But yeah, I mean, apart from the news that you just dropped, I mean, I'm okay, brother. I had like a meeting just now and a little disappointed, but apart from that, the day's been good. It's sunny in Jamaica.
Nice.
Yeah, but how things on your end?
It's not as sunny here. Well, actually, yeah, today's not that bad. It's been pretty muggy here, pretty like, just dreary or whatever. And every day I've just been feeling like I'm not depressed, but I have like no motivation to do like anything. Like it's just been like really cold and dark outside. So today I finally like caught up on my working out. I got sick like 2 to 3 months ago for like a full month, and I just stopped working out, which I was really good. I was working out every day for a year, and it like shattered that. And it's been probably like 2 weeks since I've had a really good workout. So today I was like, all right, we're not letting this happen. We're, like you missed yesterday and the day before, and today's supposed to be leg day. So I was like, today you're going to do not only leg day, but you're also going to do all the arms that you missed from yesterday. So I'm exhausted, but like I'm feeling good. I'm happy that I did it. I'm starting to like feel a little bit better about it. But yeah, man, we got some stuff coming up, man. Did you see the news with World Mobile Token? I don't
It
know if
depends
it's
on which
necessarily like
one.
the news or if it's a rumor, but yeah, what'd you say?
Well, it depends on which one. There's so many things happening for them right now. So I've heard. I think who was it that posted it? I think Ada Apes is his Twitter handle, but they were alluding to some major partnership, right? And then in another post, I saw the follow up where it sounded like it was Starlink. So
Right.
I don't know if you saw that, but is that the news that you're talking about?
Yeah. So I think it's still all rumored for the most part, but they've definitely been caught hanging out at certain. I don't know if it was the Texas Starlink building or where it was, but they were seen with the, what are they called, the Aerostrats or Aerostrats,
Got you.
the blimps for World Mobile
Yeah.
Token. They were at SpaceX. So they've been seen in the background. There's pictures. There's like a bunch of rumors. Nobody's saying for sure, like, yes, we're definitely working with them. But I think that's really exciting, man. I mean, anytime you hear about Musk talk about Dogecoin or like, oh, he has, payments now on Twitter. So maybe Dogecoin, and then Dogecoin's up 20%, 30%. So it would be really cool if World Mobile Token / Cardano could become, I don't know, just a little buddy of Elon's. I think that would be cool.
It would be perfect. Funny enough, I said to myself, because I don't know if you've been following like the discussions on X Man, like everybody right now is talking about marketing and like what would have to happen to take us to like the next level. And one of the things that's always in the back of my mind, I'm not sure if you caught these tweets a long time ago. Charles was doing crazy outreach to try to see if he could get, Elon to come on the ranch, just kind of tweeting at him every now and again to see if, could get like an in to say, have like a conversation about crypto and obviously intra Cardano. But now that the marketing discussion came full circle again, man, like I've been thinking to myself, man, if someone like Elon decided to give Cardano the cosign, bro, it would take us to the next level, man.
We need something, man. The other like kind of like hype news that could get us more on the map, I guess, because I think that's really where Cardano struggles is marketing.
Yeah.
Also like the insider want to market, right? Like these VCs or whatever, they have, they want their money to go up, but there's no VCs on Cardano. So like there's no incentive for them to market for us. You know what I mean?
100%.
But we have Sneck. Actually, I'll show. This actually just came out this morning. I had up the tweet. Let me see. Maybe Maybe I pulled away from it because I was searching for a bunch of stuff.
Bro, you seem like you're on it, man. Like in terms of, so do you do much Twitter lurking, or like where do you pick up on most of your Cardano-based news while you search for those?
So a lot of it's like Twitter, just like I'll wake up in the morning and I'll just see my Twitter feed and it'll be like, Nick, like look at this. And I'll just click on like the first like 3 or 4. And usually it's pretty good. Like my Twitter algorithm or whatever for notifying me is pretty good. But yeah, if it's not that, I always hang around in the SNEC Discord just because that's the easiest way for me to just see because I have it marked off. So if there's like a little notification, like you're missing something, then it's usually either like raid this tweet, which I'll go and I'll check out the tweet, or it's like, you know, in an announcement in their Discord. And this one I found both on Twitter and in the Discord. So let me open it up real quick. Present.
Man, like while you found it.
Yeah, so SNEC, they have a like, I don't know if he's semi-pro or how professional he is, but his name is Heck the SNEC on Twitter.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can, this guy right here. So he's a bare knuckle boxer. So if you don't know, there's like boxing with gloves and a mouth guard and all that, and then there's like bare knuckles, right? And I'm assuming they use a mouth guard for both, but that sounds like a whole nother beast, bare knuckle boxing. And that's what this guy does. And he's going to be representing SNEC against COQ, which is Avalanche's main meme coin. And
You're kidding me.
Yeah,
You're
it's going to be sick. It's going to be sick. I'm so...
Dog, that's bullish.
Yeah.
You know, all right, I don't know if you remember, but like months back, I think, who got in some... Oh, it was BitBoy. It was BitBoy that got in a tussle, and the timeline was kind of saying, "Yo, it would be cool." They were funny enough. They were literally saying this is going to kickstart the next bull run. You know, BitBoy like coming out on top of this boxing match, and then they were joking about, you know, like Charles Hoskinson and Vitalik getting into a boxing match. But I said this to say that this was actually very clever. I think it's a meta move by them. It's like a big brain play to see if they could kind of follow up on that hype and the response that they got, to see if this is just so clever. A boxing match between IRL representatives of meme coins. I think that's clever, bro.
Yeah, I've seen him in the Discord before too, and a little bit on Twitter. And he's always been like, "Hey, if you need anybody, that's, you know, if you need anybody to be on like behalf of SNEC, like I'm your guy." And they hit him up, and he was like, "Dude, I'm dead serious though. Like for real. Like, is this gonna happen? Like I'm dead serious." And then, you know, that was only like maybe a month ago, so things are moving kind of quick, and I like that. I like that a lot. I think that's going to be so fun. I was thinking about it, man, in the shower today. I was like, what if, you know, like, let's say he gets like, you know, knocked down in the first round or something, right? Like, are people going to start selling SNEC because he got knocked down, right? And then like, let's say he gets a little combo, a little nice like jab piece or something. The guy like stumbles and he falls down. Like, is Cardano then going to go up? Like, are we going to be watching the momentum like while the fight's going on? It'd be so fun, dude. It's going to be so fun.
I'm telling you, you know, there are gamblers that like, that's their approach to things though. So I wouldn't be surprised because there's a lot of gambling culture tied to, obviously, you know, our industry. And I'm sure somebody might just try to make a market out of it. And you never know. Maybe it could affect SNEC's price, or, you know, you never know, man. Like these things have a way, because even beyond, let's say, the speculative component, like the thing that drives the speculative component is like the marketing power that comes with doing things like this. Because say, for example, man, let's say these guys, both as individuals as well as like this league that they're participating in, like has, what would I say, people genuinely interested in them and the sport. You never know. That might translate into new people being interested. And then because that genuinely does bring like inflows, that also creates an opportunity for speculators to say, hey, this could affect price. And then you never know what might come after that. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. And Avalanche is, you know, if we look at coin market cap, it's right below us. So if we're trying to see like a decent comparison of meme coin to meme coin, you know, we have AVAX right here, right next to Cardano. Yeah. So this is like a pretty even fight. I don't know like how good the fighters are, but like, you know, blockchain to blockchain, this is a pretty even match. I think this is pretty cool.
100%. Man, I'm sorry, man. Like, this is the kind of thing, like if you've been like glued to those marketing discussions, these are the kinds of things that you want to see coming from like Cardano, you know. I'm actually happy for them, man. And this is what we need to be doing. Like, honestly, it's stuff like this. Lighthearted, creative ways of creating entertainment and driving eyeballs. That's what we need right now.
Yeah, we got that. We're starting to get it more and more too, which I really like. You saw the girls post, right?
Yes, I
The
did.
we're Cardano girls, of course we're about proof of stake as she
Yeah,
takes
I
a bite
know.
out of the steak. Like,
Mhm.
dude, our marketing, we're starting to get it. I feel like, or we're starting to try harder. I don't know what it is, but like the people in Cardano, I feel like we're having an awakening. It's like, yes, there's annoying things going on in Cardano. There's always going to be drama. But if we just don't talk about the drama and leave it there, and we talk about, we're Cardano girls, or we talk about SNEC fights, or we talk about World Mobile Token with Elon Musk, like these are nice, beautiful, like
Agreed.
this pumps my dopamine in the morning. This makes me want to get up. I'm excited for the day now. I'm in a great mood.
Bro, it's a reason to be bullish as opposed to like a reason to rage engage. If you follow my drift. So, all right, when you see positive sentiment coming out of what the Cardano girls did, and like you saw the level of impact, and even like Solana folk and Ethereum folk even were kind of trying to pass themselves off as Cardano girls. When you see that kind of thing happening and that kind of attention, like that's reason to be bullish. Like that's eyeballs on us for the right reasons, as opposed to they like just I'm not saying that this is I'm not even going to use that example just in case flood starts. Just like as opposed to something negative where it's just like the internal community kind of like raging against each other and outsiders kind of looking and say, do I really want to be a part of that? So I prefer this kind of engagement as opposed to the other thing, man. The other thing is
100%.
not as helpful at all.
Yeah. And the cool thing about SNEC is I was just thinking about this. I was like, COQ, like I've heard that before. Like, who is COQ? And then I'm like, oh, COQ is, Avalanche's big meme coin, right? And so it like just made me more aware of Avalanche's meme coin just based on the tweet. Just because I
Mhm.
like SNEC, now I know about COQ. So
Yep.
if COQ has the same thing, now they're going to know about SNEC. This is a giant win for everybody.
Precisely. It's cross pollination, man. Like, and you see when the collaboration is mutual and they do creative things like this, like it's not just a case of we have a boxing match coming up, and like when they tease it and they do things of this nature, it's an opportunity for cross pollination to happen. So as you rightly point out, you becoming aware of them because I wasn't aware of them before. So like it's more eyeballs for them and it's more eyeballs for us. So hopefully there's some conversion that happens, and then that would be bullish for like price action for SNEC. And you never know, like when something like this acts as a funnel and people come for SNEC, you never know. They might like Cardano in general and say, hey, all right, let me stop by and see what else is happening. Pick up a few ADA, trade a few tokens on Dex sometime. Before you know it, you have another user.
Exactly. And I'm hoping too, we have a lot of things that are somewhat bullish. Kopi, if you're here for gaming, you have your gaming token. World Mobile, if you're here for your DPIN type stuff, your physical Web3, you have that. If you're here for just meme coins, we have that. Like we're starting to get this more well-built ecosystem. And I'm excited, man. I really hope that when people see our ecosystem, they see the potential and the bullishness that is Cardano, as opposed to some of the negativity. And I really do feel like the negativity is dying down. I
Yeah.
feel like I don't see it as much on Twitter. Maybe I'm just not looking for it. That's also been something like, if we're trying to get a little bit spiritual here, I've been thinking about that. Like if you're thinking about
Yeah.
like how can you improve, which is normally a good thing, you'll always find something that you don't like about yourself because you're looking to improve, which isn't
Mhm.
necessarily bad. But if you're always doing that, then it leads you into like spiraling thoughts, right?
Correct.
So I feel like, SNEC is here and we have so many bullish things on Cardano. And maybe, the negativity is just past its cycle. People are maybe sick of it. Maybe it's just me. I'm not looking at it. I don't know. But I feel more calm and more bullish on the whole ecosystem as a whole. And I'm just happy. I'm excited for the future.
Yeah. Same here, man. The only thing I'd say, like from my point of view, so I'd say the negativity is dying down when compared to like 6 weeks ago when like a lot of the Ape Society stuff was happening. But where we are now, I'm still seeing things construed as negative. So let's say, for example, uh, Jason from Block Is Hot, he made like a thread that got Charles's attention. And in my opinion, it's not that. what Jason said was FUD. And it's not even because in my mind it is constructive criticism. I think there are probably one and two areas where you could have phrased things a bit better, so it doesn't sound like it was like an attack on where we are.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I think with even Charles' response, there were bits that were good as well, but he kind of charged the engagement a bit, like when he goes on like this is a lie rant, and in the moment you do that, the discussion spins where when the community takes it on, they might be picking sides, and then from that, like negative outcomes can happen. But to kind of go back to like I guess your main point, it is a lot more positive now than it was like a few weeks back. I think the price of ADA went up just a bit. Like obviously it's back down to where it is now, but it's still ahead of what it was like a couple months ago. So that's one. And then here's something objective that I think people should be aware of. And this could be the narrative that we kind of use because people claim that we don't have a narrative right now. But here's something that we could harp on. Literally, the last time ADA got to $3, a little over $3, we did not have an ecosystem. So to your point, man, there are things now like Snake, like Dex Hunter, like Tap Tools, like Cardano Cube, like Intersect, like what's happening now with World Mobile. There's when you come to Cardano, there's what to participate in now, and there are things to look forward to in the future. That it's not just okay hopium, like it's a case of okay, you're seeing where teams are building and things have happened, and if you get out of your fields, you'll know that things will continue to happen. So yeah, that's bullish, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far we do have like a little bit of negativity. I don't want to, we'll talk about it, but it's not even that big of a deal. But it was Tap Tools. They tweeted out last night. You know what I'm talking about. It was the Hosky with hat, right? Maybe they took down the tweet or whatever because people were not very happy with it. But essentially, it was just a tweet of a new meme coin, Cardano with hat or Hosky with hat, and it was doing really well. And they posted it basically at its peak. And then as soon as they posted it, it crashed. I think the founder rugged or something happened, and everybody was blaming Tap Tools. And then people attacked Hosky for it. And I only bring these things up because I think it's ridiculous, and I hope if you're the one who's complaining and you hear this, you're just like, oh, maybe I'm ridiculous, which definitely isn't happening. You're doubling down and you're an idiot. But, it's just ridiculous. It's like Hosky didn't create it. He didn't endorse it. Like Tap Tools, it was just on their platform. Something super, bullish was happening on Cardano where a new meme coin came out and it's doing really funny or really well. And it's got a funny name. And so like you talk about it and then it immediately does bad and people want to yell at you. And it's like, come on, man. Like, I'm just trying to have some fun here. It's a tweet. I get that it is a big platform. And if somebody brand new sees Tap Tools tweet and is a dumbass and is like, oh, Tap Tools is endorsing this, I'll buy it. Like, you're not reading. That's not what they said. But I do understand both sides. Like, I would read that and I would be like, oh, maybe I should get in on this. Like, it's brand new. Tap Tools is tweeting it out. Maybe I should get in on this. So I get both sides. It's a little frustrating, but ultimately, again, like it just boils down to it's your money, it's your decision, it's your life. You have nobody to blame for it. If they're going to tweet it out and you're going to lose your money and there's no repercussions for that, then ultimately it's all on you. Like they're not going to get sued and you're going to get your money back. It's just not going to happen. So the blame always has to boil down to you or the individual who's investing.
Yeah, man. Philosophically, I'm of that view too, in that we have to take responsibility for our decisions. So if Tap Tools made that post and then you took your money or your ADA and you bought that meme coin, that doesn't mean that Tap Tools, is liable or at fault, man. Like, you have to kind of take ownership of your own decisions. That's the philosophy that I live by. I know some people see it differently and they want to have permission to be able to blame others. But in the event that somebody literally, like, this is not a case where somebody did something to you, if you follow my drift. You see, if it were a case where, and this is just not going to happen. Let's say Tap Tools looks on you and says, no, that this is the token that you need to be buying. If they say, look, if you don't buy this, you're an idiot and, you won't get access to our platform. Like, that's different. Like, that's now a situation where not only endorsing, but providing like a consequence. So I get if you at that juncture, at that point, feel as though they're forcing you to do something. But that's not what happened. They just like
Yeah.
took a screenshot of what was happening.
Uh,
And
to,
so, I
to
mean,
play both sides too, though, like I don't think anybody would ever do that. Like I don't think anybody, because they all know, like you can't just say like, "Hey, buy this," or like, "Hey, this is financial advice." Like you're shooting yourself like in the foot preemptively, essentially, if you're trying to like call out some brand new meme coin. But the thing too is that it was only out for a few hours. I think it was like 2 hours before it crashed. So
mm,
buying into a coin that's that new, I mean, if you've been here before, you already know that that's super risky.
mhm.
So I don't know. It sucks to lose money. It's cool to be a part of the brand new hype things, but like just be careful. Anything that's got like less than a few thousand Cardano in it, you don't want to be throwing in hundreds of Cardano. You're moving the price so much.
Yeah.
So you just got to be careful. It's like anything else. But yeah, ultimately, if somebody tweets something, don't just buy because of a tweet. And you never know. Like they could. What if their Twitter was hacked? Right? Like you don't know.
Man, like, I don't know. I'm just like kind of old school when it comes on to do your own research. I mean, like, all right, for me, you can buy anything that you want to buy so long as you felt comfortable buying it.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't feel comfortable buying it, don't buy it. You know what I mean? And I think, so what happens without even people realizing it is that you end up in a situation where nobody feels comfortable about talking about the things that they like. Media agencies or influencers or content creators, they don't feel comfortable talking about things that they see, up and coming in the ecosystem. And then all of a sudden you create an environment where it's only those that made it that are able to do well, or those persons who are insiders that are able to do well, because nothing can organically come through anymore. You can't see something, a small project doing something creative and feel the freedom to talk about it because if I show a screenshot of their charts doing well, that's going to be financial advice and people are going to take it as such and then be angry with. Like, for me, that's just, I don't know, man. Like that's not the future I want to live in. Like, I'd prefer if you, at the individual level, said, okay, am I going to buy this thing? If the answer is yes, buy it, and it was my decision. If the answer is no, that's your decision. I don't believe in outsourcing my decision making to other people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that played a factor into. I mean, sometimes it still does. To be honest, I don't like
Mhm.
sometimes shouting out a brand new project that I just heard about until somebody talks to me and I can kind of talk about it with a few other people, and they're like, "Yeah, this project's legit," or like, "Yeah, I think this project's going to do well." And the thing is, like, I might still think the project's going to do well, even if these other people don't. But if I tweet it out and it doesn't do well, then it's like, well, why would I listen to Atlanick ever again? Like he just lost me a bunch of money. So then it's like, okay, well, trying to help did the opposite, and I lost credibility all with a legitimate project. It just didn't make anybody money. Like that really
Yeah.
sucks. And so like I do weigh that sometimes. Like I do think this person is legit, but if I shout him out and it loses everybody money, it doesn't matter if he's legit. I didn't hurt or I didn't help anybody. I actually hurt people. So like that's something that's just like it teeters on my mind sometimes.
Yeah, I feel you. And I think maybe one of the things about that is, I think if we construct everything that we do on Cardano or in Web3 as financial, then that's certainly, I can understand certainly why people or like yourself would think that way. Because if everybody looks at it as, okay, everything that we do here is an opportunity to make money, and then it doesn't happen, I can see where that would damage your credibility. Because like, if the aim is for everybody to make money, you want to be good at what you do. So when you make a call or when you share a project, you want it to make money. But what, in my view, what if we were to talk about a Cardano where everything wasn't about making money, where making money could be something that happens? What about things that create like some form of value? Like, and it doesn't have to be like entertainment value alone. It could be like literally like access to something that you think is cool. So for example, you could shout out Tappy right now. Tap Tools is an extremely useful product, right? I think you'd agree.
Yeah.
If the price of Tappy, if you shout it out today and it's worth 1,000 ADA, and then like tomorrow for whatever reason it's now worth 700 ADA, like, yes, it's not as valuable as when you first bought it, as in from like a strictly like what it costs in ADA perspective, but it's still the thing that gets you to see all the pro tools that are within like uh their ecosystem. So I don't know if we tie everything to strictly like, okay, is price higher or will price be higher tomorrow? Then we might miss out on value, like underlying
Yeah.
value. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I like that approach too. I do think the projects that have been here longer, it's easier for me to talk about, right? Like I'll talk about Ape Society all day long, right? And Apes peaked at 15K. If you bought them when I talked about them then, you'd be losing a lot of money, you know? But I'd still be
Yes.
talking about Apes because they're still here, they're still building. But a lot of the times, like for example, KOM, he was a Solana founder and built some other applications on Solana. He came over here to build an NFT project, and just a day or two after his NFT launch, he got a bunch of hate from the community, and he ended up refunding everybody. Shout outs to him for doing that. He did not have to do that, but you know, it's like a brand new project, a bunch of people minted, and then he would have quit his project, let's say, right? And if he didn't do a refund, everybody would have just lost all their money. And that would have been a real big bummer because it's never going to come back at that point. But if, like you said, if I shouted out Tappy, I personally wouldn't mind if anybody came at me, right? Because Tappy was 30% off the day after or whatever, because I would be like, the value's still there. Tappy is still building. There's no reason to worry, which is essentially why I'm still in SNEC. SNEC is not only continuing to build, and it's also continuing to change its marketing. It's starting to get marketing. It's starting to really build a larger community behind it. And the price is going down. That's what I like to see. The project is building and the price is going down. This is a great opportunity.
It is.
So, and that's how I feel about Cardano too. I feel like we're kind of in this, we'll look at the chart. We're like coiling, and we're either going to make a move lower, which will really shake out some people, or we're going to make a move up. And that's going to be that second leg up that everybody's been waiting on. Shout outs to Ozar, dude. Second stream in a row you've been here, homie. What's up, man? The only thing about SNEC is the marketing. Chad, I would say the only thing in like most meme coins would be the marketing. You know, SNEC is gonna go up because Cardano goes up, and you see that kind of when SNEC goes down or Cardano's going down. But if you don't have marketing for something underneath, I mean, Cardano is already a more niche, I would say, blockchain. So to have something underneath that, it's even more niche. So yeah, we need marketing like crazy. I really think that this boxing match can do a lot of positive for us. And I think other projects building is just going to help out everybody too. So if World Mobile Token gets a tweet or some sort of mention or anything really from Starlink or Elon, like that's going to be bullish for everything. That'll be bullish for SNEC. That'll be bullish for Kopi. That'll be bullish for Cardano. So I'm not even just looking at SNEC right now either. Like there's a lot of great things happening.
100%. And I mean, to maybe even unpack that comment just a little bit, I can see why someone would want to say that SNEC is only marketing. But like if you paid close attention, they're also building out like solid underlying fundamentals that people can do or that people can buy or participate in outside of it just being a meme coin. So for example, all right, so yes, it started off as just marketing, but because of all that IP value, they were able to like get like a licensing deal and create SNEC Energy, which is an actual product. Because of that like underlying, what would I say, marketing value, that thing that got people interested, they were able to like build out like a small game. And who knows where that can go. Like that could actually become something that's independently entertaining of SNEC, the meme coin. And then obviously there's memes as well. You can look at it like this. You are paying a team to continue to entertain. So like if they continue to do a good job, more and more people will come in, obviously, which will, I guess, maybe to your point, the point that you're trying to make, that is just marketing. But if people are genuinely getting entertainment value from a meme, like, I mean, that's fun. Creators should be paid for that, in my opinion. Yeah. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I don't know the deal between Heck the SNEC, but I'm sure he'll get some sort of kickback, maybe some SNEC. I don't know. I think it would be really cool to create a betting platform as well and bet on these sorts of fights, and
100%.
also bet SNEC or like bet SNEC against Cock, and have like the coins paired somehow if they could do cross chain. But
clever.
That'd be so cool. And I think they have SNEC APR or APY right now too, where if you connect your SNEC to a Cardano pair, you can stake it. I think the time is like 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, something like that. And you get better percentages for the longer that you hold. And I thought about doing it, but I was like, if SNEC goes up like real quick in 3 months, I'm here to sell SNEC. You know, like I love you, bro. I love the whole community, but like, bro, I'm here to get in and get out. You know, I'll get back in at some other point. I'm always gonna hold some, I think, forever, because I don't know, right? Like I don't know when the top of Cardano is. I don't know when the top of Bitcoin. I don't know when the top of SNEC is, and I'm a seller, man. I sell early. Everybody in this channel laughs at me for it, and it's fine because I'm making money that way. I was losing trying to hold for all these moon bags, but then you miss a moon bag, right? Like I sold, you know, my ape, and I say I should stop saying this because I'm embarrassed, but sold my ape for 200. You know,
200 ADA?
I minted it for 100. I was like, cool, finally a Cardano NFT where I can double my price in like less than a week. This is not too bad, you know. And then it moons. So like, if you don't hold for the moon bag, you're not going to get it. You're not going to ever get those gains. But if you always hold for the moon bag, you're going to lose a lot.
Yeah.
So
Maybe like it's a balance, man. Like if let's say, because I know some people like they like to buy things in threes when it's NFTs, or like, you know, as you said, like, you know, they just have the moon bag if like it's a fungible token. But yeah, you buy one, you say, all right, in case it moons, I will always hold this one.
right.
You sell one to try to see if you can make back the money that you put in to buy the three, and then like the second one, you probably sell somewhere in between, or maybe the one that you sell in between is just what you take as like your profit, and then the third one you just decide to hold forever if you like the community, or you might say, all right, this is the one that I leverage, maybe take out a loan against it to say, all right, let me try to get into some other projects type of thing.
100%. I mean, that was the strat back in the day, was buy 3, sell 2, sell 1, whatever it was. You know, the get your money back strat. But I think it's so much nicer for DeFi because if I only have 100 ADA, I don't have to somehow find 300 ADA to get 3 NFTs for 100 ADA each. I can just put in 100 and I can still sell 30 ADA, you know, at some point, and then another 30 ADA. I can still do that, which is really, really nice. And I can sell it whenever I want. Like if I see an NFT starting to crash, I need to be like, oh, well, mine's not the worst, so let me try to list it a little bit above floor as the price is crashing. And then it's this whole thought process and weight game, and it just, oh, your emotions are going like crazy while you're waiting for it to sell.
So apart from SNEC, man, what are you watching? Like what fungible tokens are you looking out for these days?
So I've mainly been focusing on SNEC. I bought more what was it? I bought more Illuvium the other day. Just because I wanted to get into coins that aren't necessarily the top 10. I'm trying to get those disgusting, degenerate Alex Becker gains. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
So I'm just throwing a little bit of money in there because I still believe also in doing what you know. So like I know Cardano, or at least I feel like I do because I've been here a long time. I feel like I know it in and out. So for the most part, I feel like I know which NFTs to try to hold. I feel like I know which NTs to hold, you know? So I feel like this is what I should do because this is what I'm here. This is what I've been doing. Why try to, you know, chase the Alex Becker mentality when you've only been learning the Atlanick, you know, personality, you know? And that was something I talked about when I first got into it, because before I was a YouTuber, I would just watch other YouTubers and I would get my information from them and I would learn, you know, pretty quickly. I'm somewhat biased because these are the people who I watch. This is all the information I get. But when you're making your own content, you're not looking at as many people. So like your opinions are more centered, or at least that's what I found for myself.
Yeah.
So I like that.
I agree, man. Even like when I actually have like a Word document and like, you know, a bit of a boomer move, but whenever I see a project worth like watching, like when I just got into to Cardano, that's what I was doing. So like I just add to it over time, and you know I take off some, you know, some that, you know, may have proven to not be what, you know, I thought they would be, but I keep adding, and like the more I add, like over time, I'm watching in real time myself getting more bullish on the ecosystem that I understand, because I see a budding ecosystem with different ways to interconnect, and because they're being worked on in parallel, things open up, like more opportunities open up. So for example, when Levy came out, for NFTs, right? Like specifically, there was like an aha moment for a lot of people, like of several different ways to say, all right, my liquidity is not locked in this NFT. There's a way for me to pull it out. And then that created like a different kind of thing. Oh, hold on. I could probably use this loan as a means to offload the NFT. Somebody willing to buy it, buy it. But I just say that there are things that are happening that are converging to create more and more opportunities within the ecosystem. And I understand it well enough to say, all right, I know where to look to, like, let's say, make money or do something that I want to do. So I don't really look much outside of the ecosystem, if that makes sense. So like I've heard a couple things about injective. Like I've been telling myself for the longest time that, I need to at least take a look. I've one of my co-founders, Richard, he's been haggling me to say, all right, I need to take a look at where all the airdrops are and then work backwards from that. Because he got a huge airdrop and it's the second one, and he's like, bro, you're missing out. Like you're just focusing on Cardano, man. Check out some other ecosystems. And there's merit to it, but I don't know. I just feel comfortable on Cardano. So for example, man, like this is something that I plan to buy some Optim. So Optim Finance's token. I think that they are underrated. Maybe people don't like the tokenomics. Maybe they don't like the founder. I'm not quite sure why it is that people don't realize that this is a bigger deal than they probably might be accounting for. But for starters, just from like a TVL standpoint, when you look on DeFi Llama and you look at all the projects with high TVLs, you'll see that Optim is like a top 10 protocol, but yet like it's top 40 like on Tap Tools. Like I think there's a price mismatch there, and then it's things like that that make me say, okay, all right, I see something. I believe my thesis is correct, so I feel comfortable. So even if like I don't make it, and I think I will make it on this play, I think there's real opportunity there. So not financial advice, but that's something that I'm going to be doing.
Optim has to do with the bonds, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I was looking at them a few months ago, and the only thing that had me a little nervous was back a few months ago, we were really talking about lowering rates in the market. And when we lower rates, I believe that that's going to have a hit on bonds because the higher the rates, the more APR you get for your bond usually. And so I think that I don't know how that plays into Optim, though. I don't know if that's different, if they do bonds differently, or if rates affect them like that. So I would need to look in more. But just like an initial thought, that's what went through my head, and that's what kept me from buying in originally.
So I'm thinking that because I've seen them talk a lot about real world assets recently. So it might just be the case where they link bonds on chain with like bonds IRL. But for right now, it's mostly like bootstrapping for stake pools. So like
Okay.
that's how they structure the bonds. It's not, let's say there's a token that corresponds with like an IRL bond. That's not what they're doing right now. But I have a feeling that they might go that route. But here's another thing about them too, and I guess this is like fair criticism for them. Their approach is a bit too big brained. Like it's hard for people to understand what it is that they're doing. So, and sometimes when I see them explaining what it is that they do, I don't even think that they're realizing that they're probably too technical in their approach to the explanation. So that could be one of the reasons why there's a price mismatch. But objectively, man, like if you look at things from, and this is what happened historically, like when a token has value locked in it, even from, let's say, a perception standpoint, you should be looking at this coin differently. It's saying that a lot of money trusts that token. So I just find it funny that not many people pick up on it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's hard to. I try to pick the best of the best, right? Or the second best. That's always my strategy. So, like for example, the best chip stocks, I picked NVIDIA and then AMD because I felt like Intel was just always lying. And I was right about that years later. Fuck Intel. They always lie, bro. They always come out with these like PowerPoints and they're like, we're better than AMD by this percentage. And then it turns out that they used a fake test rig that like helps their chips perform better than AMD. Anyways, so with like Cardano DeFi, I feel like the best of the best is SNEC. And I feel like that because you don't need any reason. Like it doesn't need to be like, oh, WMT met with, you know, whoever, and now like this is going to happen, which is great, and that's bullish, and that's definitely going to project or propel the valuation if those things ever come to fruition. But with SNEC, it's like, oh, Cardano is going up. This is the number one meme coin. This is how people get onboarded. This is going to be the next step. This is where people are going to go. And
Simple, right?
it doesn't need to be anything big, you know, like it's already big.
Yeah,
So
I take your point. Snake is also one of the other projects that I have because I look at, and another one too that's probably like lower on the list. I think Friend. I don't know if you're familiar with Ada Peoples, man, but
oh yeah.
Friend, they meme so well that a part of me wonders, like, okay, all right, will people get this? Like, will people respect? They meme very well, bro. Like, if you're in a meme coin and you're saying, okay, all right, who memes to the degree that can get like cross chain interest or enough people to say, all right, this project is funny. I mess with them. So they're another opportunity that I'm looking at. They've been taking some beating by the markets
Yeah.
recently, but I'm hoping that this is just probably like an opportunity to buy some, not financial advice, but it's something that I'm going to take a small bag to catch some of these prices and then see what happens in the future.
Yeah, I would actually say that Friend is the number two that I was speaking of. I would say Snek's number one, and Friend currently is number two as far as like Cardano meme coins. And then what I think is going to happen is the other tokens will do well while SNEC and the meme coins are popping off. You know, whenever our next leg up happens, I believe that that's when SNEC will hit its new high. That's when Friend will maybe get back to its old high, maybe go higher as well. It does have a lower market cap, so it could do that easier than SNEC could. But then that's when you're going to want to rotate out back into World Mobile Token, back into Copy, back into Optim, maybe, you know, these other things. But I feel like at first it's almost always the meme coins that happen. And that's why I'm so bullish on SNEC, is because I'm waiting for its moment to take profits and then go into other coins that I think will have their moment.
So Nick, so question, man, so you wouldn't rotate out of like meme coins, for example, and into ADA, given so you're not bullish on where the markets are all right now. What are you thinking?
I hold more ADA than anything. So I don't need more ADA, but SNEC is going to make me more ADA, right? Yeah. So when I convert my SNEC to Cardano, that's when that's going to happen. That's going to give me more Cardano, right? But I'm also going to take probably not a lot, probably 10% of whatever I make off of that, and probably put it into maybe even some NFTs. I haven't been very bullish on NFTs lately. And I do feel like that's my mentality at the moment, is like Cardano, SNEC, other DeFi other than meme coins underneath Cardano and other chains, and then NFTs. Like I believe that's kind of the rotation. And I think that NFTs were the latest, and now we've rotated back into DeFi. Now we're rotating back into the coins themselves. And then I feel like it goes back into DeFi again, back into the coins, and those kind of play off each other for a while. And then NFTs towards the end of the cycle. That's what I'm thinking right now. I could be wrong, but I would rather be late investing into NFTs than early.
Got you. I've heard, people share like a similar, what would I say, understanding of how money rotates in and out of like the different, what would I say, sectors of crypto. So I've literally heard that exact same argument where they said that NFTs are the last to benefit in the cycle. So like when it is that you've made your gains is when people normally come back to say, all right, let me speculate here and there on some opportunities that I think are undervalued. But let me ask you this too, man. Like, so right now I saw Claymates, like Clay Nation was at something like 600 and something ADA. And I was saying to myself, whoa. And I saw Spacebuds, I think it was at 888, and I'm like, whoa. Like, so that thing where people say, all right, you need to be like greedy when other people are fearful. And same thing with Ape Society. Ape Society is like at, what was it? I think it was 1400 or 1508 or something like that. And I remember saying, whoa, this could be like the opportunity, especially seeing as ADA is probably like floating in the 60 cent region right now. I'm like, ooh, it's low in ADA. It's low in ADA terms, it's low in USD terms compared to its all-time highs. Could this be like the big moment, like the big opportunity? Like, do I see these projects kind of rebounding when the bull does return for NFTs. Like, I don't know. It's just something to think about. It's something I've been thinking about. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but it is something that I'm mulling over right now. Like, who am I bullish on?
It's hard, dude. It's really hard. I mean, the thing too is I've we all hear the same thing. It's a Warren Buffett phrase, but like be greedy when people are fearful, right? Like that's his most famous thing that he's ever said. And it's so true. But I don't know about we've all, but a lot of us have seen huge dips on NFTs and have been like, oh, dude, it's down so much. I'll just buy a few more right here. It'll be fine. And then it dips even more. And you're like, all right, well, this is definitely the low. And you buy a little bit more and then you get screwed on that. And so that's why I've stopped buying, is because I kept buying the dips and I kept getting wrecked. So I was like, all right, well, let me just stop altogether. Actually, in fact, I didn't even fully just stop. I sold a lot too while it was super low, just because I was like, this is my ADA, like it's going to be hard for people, maybe, I don't know, to justify a 3,000 ADA clay when Cardano is above $1, right? And maybe it's super easy, I would say now, for me to maybe justify buying another clay at 750, right? When I've bought my very last clay at like 2,000 something. I would be like, oh, this isn't so well. I sold it too for around like 1,000. So I only lost like, I don't know, 1,200, but still, I could justify buying now, but then what? Does it drop to 500? Does it drop to 400? Like when that bottom, it's there's blood in the streets, right? But I still feel like there's people in the streets with those AKs and they keep shooting them, and there's just more and more blood. There's so much blood. I don't know when they're going to run out of ammo, but it could come to with other things such as options trading on NFTs. If people can short NFTs, then people will definitely play the opposite side of that, of trying to short squeeze NFTs and all sorts of things. So that might have to come into play to kind of forcefully like jumpstart us out of this recessionary NFT environment. But I think no matter what, NFTs at some point will have a comeback. Like I'm still holding a lot of value in NFTs, way less than my total Cardano value. But, if they were to increase in value and go back to where they were before, this giant dip in the last like 6 months, it might be about even to the amount of Cardano that I hold. So I'm hopeful, but I'm just at the moment, like it's not even in my brain. Like I'm just ignoring NFTs 1000% completely. I appreciate projects like yourself, like trying to build and still selling your NFTs and stuff like that. So maybe that's frustrating for you to hear, but it's not that NFTs in general won't be valuable. It's just that right now isn't their time in the sun.
Yeah. And the market's saying it, man. So it's not even, so what would I say? You're not saying anything that the market isn't showing us right now. There might be a few exceptions, but I think in those exceptional exceptions, there was both a combination of like cross-chain liquidity and what would I say? If you are an old head, like if you are with, let's say, the vast majority of like those guys who like just have, let's say, what would I say? Supreme influence, like people that can make other people bullish, even like you're supposed to be bearish. Like those projects are still doing well right now, but everything's few and far between. Like if you're a no name or an up and comer, it's like the most brutal of markets for you. Like almost nobody's selling out, with the exception of little sappies, and I think sneckies might be the exception of like a, what would I say, a Cardano native team that probably didn't go much cross chain, but just with the backing of Snake, they could do well. Like those are probably the only two things. But everybody else, like Goof's World, like all the other projects, everybody's having like hops on Cardano, like a whole bunch of projects they're struggling to mint out. So yeah, to your point, I think the market is saying that too. Just not bullish on NFTs right now. My hope is that from a fundamental standpoint, we'll be able to create enough value to not only sell out, but showcase that, there's something a lot more that we can do with NFTs as apart from just speculating on them. But more information on that, down the road. Triplet launches soon, so excited to show what that can do.
Yeah, it's hard too because that's what people when people hear that I do YouTube or people hear that I like NFTs, they'll ask me like why would I buy this piece of art? I can just copy and paste it. That's so stupid. And that's like the most common joke argument on Twitter, right? Is copy and paste. But like in real life, that's how people feel. They truly don't get it. And it's like I could copy and paste your picture, right? And I could put it on my phone and use it as a wallpaper, but like I don't own you. I don't get the benefits of having you as like let's say it's a girl, right? I don't have the benefits of you as my girlfriend, right? But if I own this NFT, not only it could it be my wall picture or whatever wallpaper, but I do get the benefits. Like it does give me airdrops. It does get me into, you know, this specific club, or it does get me into the next mint, or it gives you something. It's not just the picture. So I think that, you know, crypto is still so new, and we say this all the time, especially during the bear, because it makes us feel better. But
Yeah, cool.
there's so many different steps that need to happen. Right now, the only steps that people are thinking about is it worth my investment? People
Mhm.
are not thinking like, oh, is this going to help me down the future where I don't have to pay taxes on this because I can hide my money this way? Or, you know, in Africa, like, oh, maybe when I get stopped by a police officer now, they won't take my money from me because they won't know I have it. And that's just like step one. Then all these other things are going to come, like World Mobile Token. If you could actually get a cell phone service in Africa for an affordable price and it works flawlessly, boom, that is there. That is something you really want.
And you know, that's where you can lead with the narrative about what the thing is useful for, as opposed to try to pitch like, you know, the idea of a token that you can speculate on. Like without obviously using those words, just saying that this is an opportunity to make money. Like you'll be able to do or lead with things that are not totally value driven, but with the benefit of, you know, perhaps, you know, creating value for yourself. So for example, right? So with Tripod, us being able to say to people IRL that you can get free or discounted vacations by holding this membership pass, that's valuable to outsiders. But the thing is, like, you have to both get there from like a utilitarian standpoint to prove it, and then make the onboarding as frictionless as possible so that, you know, they get onboarded to Cardano, but without too much of like the work and the uncertainty when they try to do something that they see as technical. So I think that's going to put us in a real spot, like when we have something that's genuinely attractive to the outside world, where we can then lead with just like the value proposition, as opposed to a screenshot that says, "Ha, I put in 1,000 USD and I now have 10,000 USD." I think when that moment happens, crypto will see, and this will be good for the speculators too, because then they'll be like sound fundamentals for, let's say, counterparties to like create like real investment theses to say, all right, something is happening here. So instead of it being like huge 90% swings, maybe, and some, I know some people like trading like that with these huge swings, but I know a lot of people like to trade when they're shorter swings. Like they're not that there's not much opportunity to lose a whole bunch of money. So yeah, I think when those things happen, there'll be different ways for people to look at crypto from a utilitarian standpoint, as well as what's happening now. Okay, this might be something that you can make a lot of money with.
Yeah, I would say too, as soon as your product is like 100% ready to go, I would say it would be so cool to market it with just like one famous person. You know, he could do like a little TikTok or something. He could be like, "Yo guys, this is me in Belarus or whatever. You know, I just got this free trip. You know, shout outs to my, you know, whatever." And let's like have him show the hotel, like do a little spin, like, you know, and
Yeah.
have him do his little like fuckboy YouTuber shit, you know, whatever he does. And they're like, boom, you got it. You got a 10-15 second snippet. Everybody knows who this person is. He's got a free trip, right? And now everybody wants to know how they can get their free trip.
Yeah, man. And all right, so I just submitted. So for those of you guys that don't know, we won a grant from Development Bank of Jamaica to pursue Tipsy Turtles X Tripod, right? And there's another grant that opened up recently for 200,000 USD. We applied, and like a line item, like a huge marketing budget to be able to work with some of those same influencers, like Lost LeBlanc. Like we have like I think it was 70,000 USD that was suggested as a budget to work with a bunch of international travel influencers. So let's say, and we're in audit right now with Anastasia Labs. Let's say we're on track and we are able to launch in the end of Q2, you know, first part of Q3. When we get like our initial sets of users comfortable with the platform and we get initial feedback, we hope to iterate quickly to get to the point where we can now ship this product to people like outside our space. And my hope is that by the time that's ready, that fingers crossed, we'll win that grant as well. Then now we'd have the budget to do something that a lot of other projects can't do. Both for a couple of reasons. One, they don't have something that's appealing from a utilitarian standpoint to the ordinary person that they can understand. We would. And then the second part, to work on like the onboarding in a way where it's relatively frictionless. So we will be, so just like our membership passes and subscriptions work IRL, we are planning to do that for NFTs. So when they buy our NFT, they'll be able to do exactly what it is they do now when they pay for subscriptions. All of that, like, it's stuff that we have roadmapped and are in the works. So we think that like this could be something huge for us, and we want to execute against exactly what you just suggested. Have a bunch of influencers use the product IRL, show that the benefit is actually happening, and have that in front of their audiences who love travel. Man, I think we're a no-brainer in that sense. But
yeah. Absolutely, man. Because that's how it is, man. You see somebody who you watch, you could watch for whatever reason, maybe you're watching because he's a Cardano influencer. Maybe you're watching because you just want to travel and you're living vicariously like through this guy, right? And he comes up and he's like, hey, I got these free trips. All I had to do is do this. And you're just like, and it just, it puts that little seed into your brain. And that's how marketing works. I think it'd be perfect.
Yeah, man. And that's what, and we don't want to focus on when that happens. We don't want to focus on price when we're addressing that market. We just want to focus on the utility. So I think that's the safest play when we approach them. So we'll literally be leading with, okay, having this token, having this membership pass will get you free or discounted vacations. All you need to do is to hold and to show it like at a third-party vendor, or use it to log in at this website to kind of get access to travel grants. So that's what it will be. It's not going to be about, buy this for 100 ADA, maybe it will skyrocket to 1,000 ADA type thing. And I think, funny enough, if it works out, like if we get enough interest like IRL, that effect will also happen. So let's just see how everything plays out,
Yeah, it really just goes back to the whole cycle of like what is actually to come from crypto. And I've been starting to think more and more like, why is the government allowing crypto if they were so scared that it would, hurt their currency or devalue, whatever it is, their gold. And I really feel like not only is it so socially wanted that if they were to stop it, there'd be rebellions across the world. But now it's so big that even major corporations, especially like BlackRock, would lose so much money. First off, it's just not stopping. It's just not going to. But also, I feel like there's a bigger reason this is going to be used. This isn't just like, a new investment tool. It's not. There's actually real world utility behind these assets, and they're so new that we don't see it yet. We couldn't fathom it if we tried, because they're not fully there. They're not fully developed. But Dogecoin, for example, was just a meme coin. It had no plans to become anything, right? And then Musk took it and is like, we're going to force it to do this. And even like the main dude's like, I don't want it to do anything, like, relax, and Musk's like, no, we're still going to push it. And the reason why I start with meme coins is because people originally buy meme coins just because they're meme coins, and they become so big that they almost have to do something, right? And now we have Shiba Inu, same thing, but they've built their own metaverse, the Shiba verse or whatever it is, the Shibarium, right? They made their other tokens, their leash tokens, their bone tokens, like all these meme coins. And I feel like that was Snek too. I know I always go back to Snek. I've got the hardest hard on for Snek, right? I can't get it out of my mind. It's gonna do something, dude. It's gonna build this whole ecosystem around it because it'll become too big to stop. And I feel like it's already on its way. So like right now, people might be like, but it's just a meme coin. What does it do? But it's just a meme coin. What does it do? Well, we already have Snekbot, and we already have the Snek APR. We have so much coming that right now it might not make sense for everybody to buy Snek, but it will. And like, oh, dude, I'm so excited for the future. I'm so excited. I don't know if there's gonna be like more development because the bull market's coming up and maybe they've just been sitting on it waiting for a bull market, or if it's going to develop faster because the bull market's here and they just want to capture that. I
100%.
I don't
There's a
know, but I
lot.
just feel it.
There's a lot of teams doing that, man. So a lot of teams look at life to say, all right, man, they're here building. When they make releases, there's not much traction. Not much happens. So, and you'll get like even big projects like get advised by like people who you wouldn't think would be giving this advice, but what would say, listen, sit on that release for like when things are more bullish. So when the bull market does happen, you're going to see a lot of teams kind of try to clamor for that attention because they know now that those announcements can make more of an impact in terms of everything from engagement, even price action on the tokens to new customers for whatever like uh, revenue based model that they have worked out, if they do have one. So it wouldn't. I can. I'm not sure if SNEC is one such team, but I know that a lot of the big teams that they're doing that. So it could just be that SNEC has some things lined up to make those kinds of announcements during the bull run too.
Yeah, I feel like it might be a little just me being hopeful that they have something because I know that they're a little bit newer than most of the other meme coins out there. So maybe we do just have to go through not as much bullishness as, let's say, a bonk, or whatever other meme coin, a cock from AVAX. But I mean, I wouldn't put it past us either. One of my biggest fears, and I don't know what by the rumor sell the news. I don't know what rumor you're referring to, but that is typically true. But damn, I tried to do two things at once and I lost it.
I guess we were talking about SNEC, there being a newer team and that they might have something lined up. But you have to respect that it's possible that they don't because obviously they're newer. But
Right.
I will say this about Goofy, like and you made this point earlier. Their team, they're nimble enough to work on like new things. So, for example, engaging that boxer a month ago and now having like a deal in place where this is happening, that says a lot of good about the team. That's actually, to be able to execute that quickly is actually a good look. And you never know, man, like it can happen like that. They could build out a use case for it that could even make you bullish to the point where, okay, all right, I'm only going to sell some of my stack. I'm going to hold on to it to ensure that I can use it for this purpose.
It's true.
And I can tell you, like at ADA level, it's happened and it is happening. So with Project Catalyst, right? A lot of like the wealthier individuals or projects, they held on to their ADA knowing that one day they'd get access to that treasury as well as another treasury. So because they have like a vote, they can say, all right, this is something that I can structure to benefit my interests long term. So it's not just like a one-off sell, but I can be clever, latch on to the utility of the thing and make money like for the long term or however long, let's say the treasury is open. So with the treasury coming on stream, I'm not sure how much you know about Intersect, but with the treasury coming on stream later this year, a lot of whales are going to be joining and making plays. Like when that $1 billion opens up, I just know that we're going to see a lot of some of the big names that benefited from Catalyst also benefit from the treasury. So there's utility there if you can acquire enough. And that might happen for some of your favorite projects, like where there's something that is just valuable enough for you to say, all right, this is worth holding at least some amount for the long term.
Yeah, so maybe explain that a little bit better for me. Intersect, they have, so I guess there's money locked up that's waiting to be unlocked.
Correct. So there's about $1 billion USD worth of ADA right now that can't be touched. But when governance turns on, MBOs, the community at large, whoever is a part of the MBO, whoever maybe leads a working group, whoever is open enough to submit like a business idea that gets passed, you'll be able to access that treasury or those funds. Now, what I'm saying is that like a huge unlock, and we saw it with Catalyst, is that you have to have like a certain amount of ADA to like either sway votes or to win over other persons wanting to support you. They might have their bag, you have their bag, and you work together and you say about how best you could support, like, what it is that you both are trying to do. I'm thinking that something similar will happen with Intersect. So I just say that to say that there will be value for holding on to things that are genuinely trying to create value. And ADA is a good example. It might not occur to some people because maybe they can't buy in the necessary volumes. But for whales, it is there's for whales that have businesses that can, let's say service Cardano. If you're a dev company and when Intersect opens, like if you're a marketing agency, a lot of your hodling, if you're a whale, will pay off by the time stuff like that happens. That's all I want to point out. Like there, if you are a team that's thinking to actually create value that you can see like a certain set of people saying, yes, I want that, you will be able to carve out a future for you that's valuable, that will pay you almost just as well, if not better, just for hodling. So yeah, that's what I want to point out.
That's when you actually get the moon bag, right? That's because you're holding for the true value and you're just waiting and waiting and waiting. And when you have something that you truly believe in, it doesn't make waiting such a scary thing, right? And I've gone through that so many different times. I've seen all the Twitter feed and the negativity Cardano had, and I'm like, damn, like if this is the bull market and this is what new people are seeing, like we're hopeless, and I'm just like panicking. And then 3 weeks will go by or something, or 2 weeks will go by and the price is going up and we have bullish news and it's just like, oh, well, I'm fine. And it's so many. Yeah. Like I can believe in it as much as possible, but the media, social media as well, maybe even more so than regular media, is just, it is impactful. And I found it impacting myself too, where I need to remind myself like why I'm here, and that you could see an article from the biggest news media, right, about how Cardano sucks, and the Cardano price will go up next day, like 2 days from now, right? Like nobody truly cares. And even beyond that, I feel like a lot of these media outlets put out these negativity articles or positive articles to either pump or dump their own bags that they either want to get into or get out of. And we saw, I don't know if it was not Gary Gensler, but one of the banks were talking about how they couldn't see crypto being in the future at all. It's a giant scam. They couldn't see any president supporting it. And every time they would come on and talk about that, you would see month after month, they were accumulating more and more Bitcoin. So it's just, it's interesting. You can't even really believe the FUD because a lot of it is lies.
And I think that's where you have to have like your high conviction play or plays. So for me, I'm high conviction ADA. So like I might have like a thesis about Friend or Optim and say, okay, there could be something there. But for me, like I always have the safe bet because I did all the work up front. And then like I just manage my risk. I don't have much. I want more right now. I can tell you. Like I want more ADA right now. And I'm very confident that we're going to see at least, and again, like just working on off the principle of like the following. If last time out, like we were able to hit a $3 ADA without an ecosystem, like right now, all that's needed is just for a narrative strong enough to, or not even as strong. It doesn't have to be as strong as smart contracts coming. It could be literally to talk about the fact that we have like an ecosystem now. Once the narrative meets the fundamentals, like I think we blow past what we saw, last time out, all-time highs. And even if we don't blow past it, like I'm confident that we'll test those levels just based on fundamentals and just based on Bitcoin doing what it's supposed to do, and in the market following that, there's going to be positive price. So I'm high conviction. So like I have that thing to lean on when I'm not doing the okay, all right, I'm looking for a narrative or I'm looking for a project with some fundamentals to play with. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, just looking at Cardano, it's pretty low right now. We're lower than that last
60.
previous low. What was this? This was 58. So we're right there. We either break this and we go a bit lower, or this is the bottom, temporarily. What's really interesting too here, I wanted to show this, bro. Yeah. We have 15 days until the Bitcoin halving.
It's crazy. I'm not ready, bro. I'm not
ready. That is so crazy. I thought that this number was like closer to 30 when I opened it up this morning. I was like, I know crazy. It's coming, but to see it at like, oh, well, I think it changes. Okay. That's funny. But because of the mining rate, right?
Yeah.
But that's crazy. The Bitcoin halving is not necessarily going to force us to go up immediately, but the fact that every single time months after, we've not only gone up, but drastically. Man, like a lot of people are getting impatient right now. My emotions have definitely tested myself as well. So like I'm not out of that category of people I talk about, but I feel like we all need to calm down a little bit. In just 16 days, we could all be riding this freaking rocket ship high of dopamine, watching, you know, the S&P 500 go up, Coinbase go up to new all-time highs, all these Bitcoin stocks. And again, we're cooling it. And just a week ago, maybe we were sitting there biting our nails at our computer while working. Like, don't need to. Everything is still fine. Even if, actually, especially if we look at the Bitcoin chart, like there's nothing to really worry about quite yet. Let me share this. Because as long as Bitcoin's trending higher, everything is going to eventually find its place.
Yeah, man. And that historically, that's been the case. You hear it all the time. You know, the rest of the market tracks Bitcoin. And I heard Dan talking about it the other day on his channel. I think the last bull run, ADA tracked it 8 months afterwards, but it eventually tracked it. So I'm not saying that will happen again, but it's historically what's been happening. And I don't know, man, like you putting up the Bitcoin halving chart just kind of kicked my ass again, because I've been saying to myself, all right, we need to be properly prepared in case what we believe will happen. And I think there's going to be massive amounts of opportunity. So like, I need to get myself ready. It's just 15 days, but I'm going to pull myself together and buy some more ADA, man.
Yeah. I know who the Dan G, right?
Yeah.
He always talks about the Bitcoin doors, right? The Bitcoin bull market doors. We broke those a while back. He talks about the strength of Bitcoin dominance and how that could start turning around after the halving and showing how altcoins could have a crazy run. But yeah, like last time, I mean, it was kind of towards the end of the market and it was like, oh, like maybe the market's over. And then Cardano was like, nope, remember me? Like it's our time now. And I hope that doesn't happen. But like if it does, hopefully it still happens at the very least. Like the worst case scenario, if it's going to happen and just happen at the end. But what would suck though is that all these people, the people who made fun of Cardano and bought Solana and bought Avalanche and all these other coins that, you know, like right now, Dogecoin surpassed Cardano for the 8th spot. Now Cardano's number 9. All those people who bought these other coins are making more money. And a lot of them are going to be the ones to sell and then rotate into Cardano to make the gains that we've all been waiting for. They're going to make those gains and our gains. So that's the only part that frustrates me a little bit is like, I'll still be fine. I will. But could I have done better and can I do better, right? If I'm just a little bit more proactive right now. But what the thought that's hard though is like, I'm not going to sell my Cardano to try to pinpoint which month, which coin. Like
that is it.
As soon as I sell, I'm going to be wrong. So I just have to hold.
Of you being wrong.
Huh?
There would be so you're right. If you go and look for those gains, there's a high chance that you might be wrong. So that's the thing. So like for me, I look at it to say, all right, boy, you know, I could go over to Solana and play with meme coin season to potentially get 100x. But like that's a smaller, there's a very slim chance of that happening versus in my mind, the 4x that's coming for ADA from like 75 cents. And now that it's at like 58 cents, like if you follow my drift. So, I mean, if you can like portion, let's say your strategy, like, right, you can still play with those other ecosystems, but still like have like your high conviction bag. So, okay, in case you mess up over there, you still have like this bag that, okay, it's likely to do something, you know, in whatever time span. So maybe that's how, you know, people can approach it to kind of avoid like the whole feeling of missing out while still protecting themselves with sound fundamentals in projects that, you know, will do well and follow Bitcoin's rally.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm still probably 80% of my investments are in Cardano in some form or another, which is why I'm, you know, I bought into Illuvium, I bought into some of these other coins, is just because if I'm going to put any more money into the market, it's not going to be Cardano, but it's only because I personally have a lot of Cardano, not because Cardano is not worth buying right here. Yo, shout outs to Hugs. What's going on, Hugs? And Ozar asked, is Bitcoin having sell the news type of event? It's never been before. So that's all I'm going to say. Like, I don't know. BlackRock could have some like giant plan in its, back pocket to force the price down low so it can buy more before it blasts off, or maybe it, pumped the price preemptively to dump it before the, the news, to have some black swan event. But we've never seen that happen. We've never had a halving and then over the next few months had Bitcoin go lower. So I wouldn't bet on that. Do you know what I mean? Like, you always want to bet with what's happened in the past. You don't want to bet on some new maybe scenario that's never happened before. That's not safe investing. So I wouldn't bet against it. That's not what I would do. But yeah, it could be. It could be.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I agree with you, man. Like, I don't expect, what I expect to happen is what's been happening every time there was a halving. So I personally am preparing for that future. But it's like you said, man, like a black swan event could happen. Something, there's a possibility that something could happen, but that's just not been historically what happens to Bitcoin prices after the halving. So yeah, do with that what you will.
Yeah, and I know we're at an hour 15. Actually, I completely lost track of time. But last thing that I wanted to share is the Fed rate tool. I know the screen is very white, so I apologize. But this is basically saying when the FOMC meets the Fed, these are the predictions of what we're going to be at in May. And right now it's suggesting once again that we don't have a rate cut, that it stays the same. So just wanted to bring this up because I think that the overall market is in a kind of just melt up period. And I'm going to share the S&P 500. And then I drew some more lines on this chart. So I drew lines. This is the past bull market after the 2020 crash. Maybe not the best line to draw just because the growth was insane. But what I was really trying to look at is how often when we're in this uptrend do we stay towards the high of it? And it's a lot. We drop down once, maybe twice, but like overall, we stay towards the high of this channel. And then once we start hovering towards the bottom or the middle, that's when we finally broke. And I found that interesting because right now we're hovering towards the high, which is a good sign. You want to just keep hovering towards that high. And I also wanted to know, like, should I expect some downside? And that's going to be way harder to know because we do have these random dips, but they never go below the line. So right now with the Fed saying they're not going to lower rates because the market is essentially okay, or we haven't seen inflation go towards 2% quick enough, that just means, in my opinion, everybody's just waiting. And if everybody's waiting while the market's going up and we continue to wait, the market's just going to continue to melt up. So right now we don't have anything super negative. The negative looming black swan event, which has happened before, would be that it takes us too long to lower rates and we have too high of either unemployment or banks are starting to fail because they can't support the rates. And that's when you'd be forced to lower rates out of nowhere immediately to try to counteract the mistake. And that's when you get a big crash. So right now, until we get that data, which could be months and months, even a year or two, I just think we're going to melt up. And I don't know. That's just kind of what's been keeping me really calm. Like throughout all these dips, like there's not a big dip that suggests we go super low. We're still really high towards the S&P 500, the overall market, which crypto doesn't follow to a T, but it does follow it for the most part. I don't know, man. I think we're looking fine.
Yeah, man. I mean, I trust your judgment. I'm not big on technical analysis or following what the US is doing with rates, but I understand at a high level like its impact on the economy and what technical traders look for when they consider charting and that kind of a thing. But I mean, like, I'll take your cue, man. The last time I spoke to you, you were bearish because you were worried about what Jerome Powell,
Jerome Powell, yeah,
what he was going to say. But clearly you've gotten to the bullish side of, being Nick. So I'm there with you,
Yeah.
brother. If you're bullish, I'm bullish.
Yeah, man. My brain, it's quick to like hop sides. You know what I mean? It's quick to be like, okay, now I'm bullish. And then it's quick to be like, okay, now I'm bearish. And I used to think that was a bad thing. And I used to freak out sometimes like, damn, like I was bearish and now people are going to see me bullish. Like nobody's going to listen to a word I say. Why would they? But that is what happens. Like you can't always be bullish. You're going to be a bad trader or a great trader throughout, whatever the bullish period is. And then a bad trader when the bearish period comes. Like you have to change. So I've kind of allowed myself to like just calm down in all of it. Like if I'm bearish, I'm bearish. If I'm bullish, I'm bullish. But right now the news is bullish, in my opinion. That's what I see. There's no signs of anything that's too negative to make the market reverse. That's just what I think. An incredible truth says ADA for $10.
Whoa, I hope that happens, brother. I don't know if you're right, but I hope that happens.
Hey, one day, man, one day.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, did you want to talk about anything? Did you have any questions before, we wrap it up here? And no rush either. You could ask questions for that 30 minutes. I don't mind.
Oh, no worries, brother. I'm all good. I was just here to really chat, not so much to talk project or anything like that. We can discuss something like that in the future. But yeah, man, I'm happy to have been here just to chop it up with you and chat things Cardano and the markets. Would love to do this again, soon.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you for coming on. I plan on having you on, maybe at least once a month, maybe, once every other month, whatever your schedule's looking like. But I think it's cool, man. You have a really chill vibe. And I like talking about the market with people who you have a really good mind of like taking, because I know you don't know everything that I'm talking about, but you take the information and you turn it into like substance. And I like that. You're a smart individual. So I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, sir.
And next time, hopefully we'll have Clean on too.
Hopefully, brother. It just reminded me of his current situation. I know it's tough, man. But yeah, thanks for having me on, brother. Would love to be on again. Hoping, thoughts and prayers to Clean and his family.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, definitely rough, man.
Well, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate everybody for watching. Remember to get outside, see your family, see your friends. We're here to make more money so that we spend more time with them. Till next time, guys. Peace.